Dad, she can't buy a Thanksgiving turkey for her child. It was the Wednesday morning before Thanksgiving, and the air smelled of cinnamon, coffee, and quiet anticipation. Supermarkets buzzed with last-minute shoppers grabbing cranberries, pies, and the largest turkeys they could find. Among them was Daniel Brooks, a man in his late 40s, tall and neatly dressed, his salt and pepper hair marking him as someone who had worked hard for years. But behind his calm eyes and confident smile, Daniel wasn't just another shopper. He was the CEO of one of the biggest food chains in the state, though no one in the store that morning could have guessed it. He preferred to do his own grocery shopping every Thanksgiving. It reminded him of his roots before the suits, meetings, and headlines. Walking beside him was his 8-year-old daughter, Emma, her bright eyes scanning the aisles with curiosity. Thanksgiving was her favorite holiday, not for the food but for the feeling. Her late mother used to say that Thanksgiving wasn't about what was on the table, but who sat around it. Those words had stayed with Emma, and with Daniel too. As they waited in line at the checkout, Emma tugged on her father's sleeve. "Dad," she whispered, her gaze fixed on the woman in front of them. Daniel turned and saw a young mother holding a small boy, no older than 4. Her clothes were clean but worn, her eyes tired yet gentle. She held a small frozen turkey in her hands and a few side items, stuffing, canned corn, and a box of instant mashed potatoes. The cashier scanned the items, and the total flashed, $28.73. The woman's smile faltered as she fumbled through her purse, counting crumpled bills and loose change. After a long, awkward silence, she looked up apologetically. I'm sorry. Could you take off the turkey? I don't have enough." The cashier nodded politely and reached for the frozen bird. But before she could, a small voice cut through the hum of the store. "Dad, she can't buy a Thanksgiving turkey for her child," Emma said softly but firmly, her voice carrying farther than she expected. People turned. The mother's cheeks flushed as she tried to smile. "It's okay, sweetie," she said kindly. "We'll just have something else this year." But Daniel's daughter wasn't done. "That's not fair," Emma said, looking up at her father. "Everyone should have turkey on Thanksgiving." Daniel hesitated. He wasn't the kind of man who liked drawing attention to himself, but something in Emma's tone pierced him. Maybe it was her innocence. Maybe it was the reminder of his wife's words, that Thanksgiving was about who sat at your table. Without saying another word, he stepped forward. "Excuse me," Daniel said gently to the cashier. "Please add the turkey back. I'll cover her groceries." The woman blinked in disbelief. "Oh no, sir, you don't have to." "I insist," Daniel said with a kind smile. "It's Thanksgiving. Let's make sure your little boy has his turkey." Tears welled in her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered. "You don't know what this means to me?" Emma beamed. "Now you and your boy can have turkey just like us," she said proudly. The woman crouched down to Emma's level, her voice trembling. "You're a very kind little girl. You and your daddy just made our holiday." When the woman left, Daniel turned to his daughter. "That was a very good thing you did, Emma." Emma shook her head. "No, Dad, you did it. I just saw her." Daniel smiled softly. Sometimes seeing is the hardest part. They finished their shopping, unaware that a store employee had recorded part of the exchange on her phone. By the next morning, the clip had gone viral. CEO helps single mom buy Thanksgiving dinner after daughter speaks up. But Daniel didn't know that yet. That evening, the Brooks family dining room was filled with laughter, the smell of roasted turkey, and the warmth of family. Daniel's sister, her husband, and a few close friends sat around the table. The empty chair at the end was draped with his late wife's scarf, a tradition they kept every year. As they said grace, Daniel thought about the woman from the store. Was she sitting at a table too, maybe smiling at her son as they shared their turkey? He hoped so. The next day, Daniel arrived at his office, coffee in hand, ready for a quiet post-holiday workday. But when he stepped through the lobby doors, his assistant rushed up, eyes wide. "Sir, the video, everyone's talking about it." Daniel frowned. "Video?" She turned her tablet toward him, and there it was, the clip of him and Emma at the grocery store. Millions of views, thousands of comments. People were calling him the Thanksgiving angel, praising Emma for her compassion. Reporters wanted interviews. Talk shows were reaching out. But what caught Daniel's attention wasn't the publicity. It was a message pinned at the top of the comments section. It read, "I was that mother. I didn't know who you were until I saw this online. My son and I had the best Thanksgiving we've ever had. I just wanted to say thank you, not just for the food but for reminding me that good people still exist." She had signed it simply, Melissa. Daniel sat back, overwhelmed. He had helped people before, through charity events, donations, company programs, but this felt different. It wasn't about money or publicity. It was about one small act, one moment that had rippled far beyond what he could have imagined. That evening, Daniel drove across town to one of his company's local stores, the same one where it had all happened. He asked the manager to find the woman named Melissa. She was there working part-time as a cashier, ironically the same one who had rung up her groceries that day. When she saw him, she froze, speechless. "Mr. Brooks?" she stammered. "I didn't expect him." Daniel smiled gently. "Please, call me Daniel. I just wanted to say your message meant a lot, and I wanted to offer you something." He handed her an envelope. Inside was a letter and an employment offer for a full-time position at the company's corporate office with benefits, childcare assistance, and a steady income. Melissa's lips trembled. I don't know what to say." "Say yes," Daniel said kindly. "Everyone deserves a fresh start, especially someone who never stopped trying even when things were hard." Tears rolled down her cheeks as she nodded. "Thank you. I won't let you down." As Daniel turned to leave, Melissa's little boy, clutching a small toy car, ran up to him and hugged his leg. "Thank you for my turkey, mister," he said shyly. Daniel knelt down, his throat tight. "You're very welcome, buddy. Happy Thanksgiving." When he returned to his car, Emma was waiting in the back seat, swinging her legs. "Did she like the surprise, Dad?" Daniel smiled, eyes glistening. "Yes, sweetheart. You gave her more than a turkey this year. You gave her hope." That night, Daniel tucked Emma into bed, the glow of the city flickering outside the window. "Dad," she murmured sleepily. "Mom would have been proud, right?" Daniel brushed a strand of hair from her face and whispered, "She already is." As he turned off the light, Daniel realized something profound. Kindness doesn't need a headline. It just needs a moment. And sometimes that moment begins with a child's simple words. "Dad." She can't buy a Thanksgiving turkey for her child. That Thanksgiving, and everyone after, Daniel made sure no family in his community went without a meal. What started as a single act of compassion became a yearly program called Tables of Thanks, feeding thousands of families every November. Because sometimes, one turkey can feed more than hunger, it can feed the heart.